So, welcome to the tour of the Putnam Railroad by bike, now a bike trail. Tracks are gone. We're starting here. It's not really part of the maintained trail, but we're just about less than 100 feet north of, I believe it's West 240th Street. To the right here is Cortland Park. To the left, as we're going north, to the left is the park. To the right is Major Deegan Expressway, I-87. And this is the off-ramp to 240th Street. So we're going to head north from here on today's journey, beginning here at Cortland Park, and we're going to go as far as Elmsford, where the South County Trail ends. As you can see, this section of the trail is pretty narrow, so we got to be careful. Not just because of the hazards, but this whole pathway is notorious for poison ivy and poison oak, so we kind of want to stay on the trail, not get our legs covered with it. Who knows if this section, Who knows if this section of the trail will ever be cleared and widened and opened into use. We'll see. I suppose it's also possible that rather than actually widen it themselves, but just let pedestrians walk up and down and clear the brush with their feet. As we've seen several sections that we're going to come upon here, this section of the trail is mostly likely double-tracked, especially because of the volume as we're heading here into New York City. You can even see some of the plates still there on the bridge. Up here we're approaching the Cortland Park station. Platform 4 it was. Right here we can see the lake a little bit, the clubhouse. Kind of behind us and to the left was the Cortland Park running track where greats like Steve Prefontaine competed years ago. We don't have a whole lot of businesses around here on the track. If we head over here, we get into Van Cortland Park. We have to go across the park and across Broadway. And there's some pizzerias and things like that, but not much. None of it built because of the trail here. It was built because of the events at Van Cortland Park, plus the proximity to Manhattan College. Up around here somewhere, I'm not sure the exact spot, but the railroad actually split. Main line staying to the right, heading north where we'll be traveling. To the left, a branch broke off, which ran through Van Cortland Park, through the fields, and then headed over to Yonkers to Getty Square, and that was the Getty Square branch. Probably another day we'll try to see if we can follow that, see where it goes. Whether we'll actually get to Getty Square or not, I don't know. So many buildings put up over it, it's probably very difficult to actually trace it anymore. And actually I think right here is about where it broke off. So we'll just try to follow it a little bit and come back. Kind of what it headed up along here. Where it would have gradually worked its way up to the park, and then continued on. Actually, I think we probably turned earlier, so we're just going to turn around here real quick, get a clear spot without any poison ivy to pick up. Of course, the best part of going out on your bike and trying to enjoy the trail and stay healthy is coming home with legs full of poison ivy. So back on the main line again. Quite a bit of garbage. You can see it would have been double tracked along here. we ride along here to the left and to the right, there'll be places where you can see the leftover abandoned rail ties. The rails are up, but the ties still sit here. Kind of like what's considered to be the finished version of the trail up by Cotterskill Falls and Laurel House. Really, you're just kind of walking along the old rails, and it's an ankle injury waiting to happen. We're going over Laurel House, but the Cotterskill Falls, up and down the abandoned ties. Except here we are in Bronx County, not Greene County. And it's another spot you can see by the size of the bridge and the placement of the ties that all this would have been double tracked at one time. Of course, plenty of graffiti there. say right about here, the trail is maybe 5 to 6 feet wide. Got a couple spurs off the trail, but they really didn't go anywhere. Probably used more for bathroom breaks. So, as we transition now from the dirt path over to pavement, we are leaving Van Cortland Park, leaving Bronx, leaving New York City. We are entering Westchester County now, which is the official start of the South County Trail, formerly the Putnam Railroad of the New York Central. Now that we're on pavement, we can pick up speed a little bit. Crossing under, I believe this would be McLean Avenue. With some fence posts to the left here, which are occasionally knocked down by cars going off the parkway. To the left is the Sawmill River Parkway, which we will parallel for quite some time until we pick up the Taconic Parkway. All along the trail, to the right now, up ahead, be spots to the left as well. It's going to be areas, former businesses, factories, warehouses that were serviced by the freight business here on the railroad. Now they're just kind of abandoned loading docks. But one pathway there heading up to some housing, but I don't think there's too many businesses up there. Maybe a bodega or two, but certainly not built because the trail was here. Most of these businesses that would have been along the main roads were here long before the trail went in. And sincerely doubt that the majority of their business now, more than it was from pedestrians and cyclists. Mainly just the locals getting their food each day. We're actually on a long, steady uphill grade now. This is probably one of the steepest along the trail. And this will peak just short of Tuckahoe Road before we head back down. Oh yeah, some big poison ivy on the side. Up here, I'd say the trail is probably about 8 feet wide at the maximum, which is a decent width. I really don't think it's necessary to put in a trail that's 14 feet wide, especially up in the Catskills. You're just not going to have the volume. If you don't have that kind of volume here in Westchester, I really doubt you're going to have that volume in Ulster County. Up ahead here we have an overpass going from Tibbetts Park on the right to another park over on the other side of the parkway. And this overpass here was actually, years ago, this was cleared out a little bit by one of my Boy Scouts, Philip Traub, as part of his Eagle Scout project. Very good scout. Unfortunately, he was killed a couple years ago on his bike when he lost control. While going around a curve. And sporadically through here we do have some trails linking South County Trail with Tibbetts Park and the trails there. It's probably a nice waterfall when it's running. So like a lot of these trails, if you wanted to do this long distance, you really got to be self-supporting. There's not a lot of spots along the trail where you can stop, buy food, fill up on water. It's very rare that you see a porta potty along here. If you need the bathroom, you got to go into the woods. Hope you don't get yourself covered with poison ivy, or you stand along the trail and hope that there's nobody riding by while you're going. So to the right, we're now leaving Tibbetts Brook Park, soccer fields, and right here we're passing over the Cross County Parkway. To the right, beyond the exit sign, if you could see in the distance a little gold dome and radio antenna. That is Dunwoodie St. Joseph Seminary for the Archdiocese of New York. left here now we have a motel sitting on what would have been a double-track section of the railroad. So that's one of the things that Rails to Trails was supposed to prevent building on the right-of-way, because now that portion of the trail, or the portion of the right-of-way, is no longer usable for rail should it ever be put back in, where it would have to shift over to the right here. And up ahead now we kind of switch back to going single track. So up ahead here, we're about to cross Yonkers Avenue. Our first stop here. And as you can see, all along the trail, wherever there's a station, we have these markers. So we're down here. We started at the county line. We passed Lincoln a few minutes ago. Right now we're at the Dunwoodie station. And we will be continuing all the way up to Helmsford today. So this railroad was, for passenger service, was in operation from 1881 to 1958, and freight made its final run in 1982. So, camera back and keep going. Up ahead right here now, we have an excellent example of the good side of the Rails to Trails. To the left, to the right here actually, we have an office for waste management. You can see here in Yonkers, you can see what was their parking lot in back. Obviously, to access that, this section of trail had been turned into a roadway for their use. Now, I'm sure if the right-of-way hadn't been preserved, these buildings would have been pushed all the way back and would have completely made the trail, would have blocked the trail and made it unusable. So this is what Rails to Trails was intended to prevent development on the right-of-way, so that someday, if needed, tracks could be put back in. It was never set up for the purpose of shutting down operating railroads, ripping up the rails just to put a trail in so that they can get another check mark on their maps.